Just Denise Gitsham. Denise, good to see you as always. Thanks for being with us. So I want to get right off the bat your reaction to some of what Congressman Greg Stanton just said.
Well, I just think that his tone and what he said, the substance of what he said, is really commendable. And I say this as a Republican because I'm an American first and foremost. I want to see our leaders coming together, disagreeing vehemently about what they think is best for America, but doing it so and modeling it in a way that enables us to be our best selves, to live out the values that our nation was founded on, which is strong disagreement. I mean, the First Amendment, think about that. It was the very first thing that our founders thought needed to be established, right? Was the freedom of speech. So we need to be able to feel free in expressing what it is that we believe in and what we're against. And so I think the fact that he made room for that in his conversations, the fact that he even commended the Republican who responded, to Charlie Kirk's passing, those are all positive things, but it's not enough, because the reality is that we have to look within ourselves beyond what leaders are saying and decide for ourselves who it is that we want to be, how we want to live, regardless of the examples that are set outside of us.
Yeah, and I want to get into the Hegseth issue, too, with you, because the Defense Secretary, Pete Hegseth, says the Pentagon is tracking any comments from employees on the assassination of Charlie Kirk. We've also seen other companies coming out saying they have zero tolerance for any social media posts containing inappropriate comments from their employees. So do you think that employees should face these types of consequences as you talk about the First Amendment?
Well, I'm a vehement defender of the First Amendment, including speech that I hate. But the reality is, and I say this as a former federal employee, is that when you sign up to work for the government, whether in a civilian or, an actual, for the DOD in a civilian or military capacity, and other federal agencies as well, you actually sign away a lot of your free speech rights. Because if they come in conflict with the code of conduct for the DOD, then you are not able to work there anymore. That's clearly stated. The Pentagon is on strong legal foundation if they go after anyone who celebrates the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And if you think about the bigger context of this, Laura, we live in a society where 29% of millennials and 42% of Gen Z think political violence is acceptable. This is reported on the Wall Street Journal. And 48% of liberals, as reported by Charlie, thought it would be okay to assassinate Elon. 55% think the same of Trump. They could have probably done the same sort of poll on the right and seen what people thought about the left. It probably would be equally shocking and horrible. Right. So the reality is that the context in which we live makes it all the more important that we do not foster an environment or allow any sort of, what I like to say in scripture, they say little foxes in the vineyards, the little things that get underneath and develop sort of this atmosphere of decay and demoralization in our society that really set us on the wrong path for what we want our nation to be and the kind of society we all want to live in. We have to root them out at the core.
I really enjoyed reading your recent piece on the Hill, questioning if free expression is now an existential risk. You wrote, quote, "In my 25 years in politics, I have been spit on, screamed at, stalked, and taunted with emails, DMs, and texts, calling me a, quote, waste of skin." And more. My goodness, Denise, have you noticed, that's a lot. Have you noticed a ramp up in hateful comments personally in this last year with all of this going on with Charlie Kirk?
Well, it's interesting. When I was even in law school at Georgetown Law, in my very first semester, we were taking constitutional law, and the professor actually called me a fascist when I was sitting there, because I worked for Attorney General John Ashcroft, and I had a difference of opinion and an honest question as a first-year law student, and I didn't know what I was talking about. I had an honest question, and when she set that tone, a lot of the students that came from a different political perspective started piling on. And that was the first time I'd ever been called anything like that. This was under George W. Bush, okay? Different president, different tone. So this is a long time ago. This is '04. And this has been fomenting for a long time. And what I've seen that really troubles me the most is that this belief that I'm right and you're wrong has become I'm good and you're bad. That allows us to dehumanize the people that we disagree with. I wrote a book on it. It's behind me, Politics for People Who Hate Politics. And I talk about the importance of speaking the truth in love, standing on truth, but also doing so in a manner that understands that people have different perspectives based on their different experiences in life. And so we must get to a point where we force ourselves out of these silos and go and talk to people and ask them honestly, with love, with understanding and empathy, please tell me why you believe what you believe, and somehow come to some agreement that we may never agree, but that doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you maybe wrong.
Right. And a great
And that's
quote to throw.
okay.
Yeah, and a great quote to throw back to people is "Help me understand." You know, when you're
Help me
having help me understand. I love that when I have a, when I'm into it with somebody, it's just help me understand. I mean, that's what this is about. And what happened to agree to disagree? Another good one. So, hopefully moving forward, we will hear more of that. News Nation contributor Denise Gitsham. Again, check out her piece on thehill.com. Thank you very much, as always. Good to see you.